got to level 30 and messaged me at like 10:30 at night and said, what do I do now? And I said, what do you mean, what do you do now? Because you don't progress further than level 30. So
right.
that's the highest you can get, and you do the runs and you do the runs and you do the runs. And what do I do now is the same question as what did I do at the start, which is kill heretics.
It's the runs,
It's the runs. It's good bit. You've got the runs. And I asked him, like, okay, level 30, so how many times have you done, like, level 4 missions, like heresy missions? He said, a couple of times. So he'd farmed his way up there on all the weaker levels instead of going for the hard. The point is to kill heretics with a team of your friends and try and hit the highest levels that you can for that little dopamine hit that you get for clearing the highest levels as high as you can. I mean, I haven't touched any of the auric stuff yet, but I'm very comfortable at level 4. I could do level 5s no problem if I've got a good team around me.
Yep.
And it's just nice spending some time inside the world of Warhammer 40k, inside Atoma, inside the Hive City. It's lovely there. You should come.
I want to come. And so you're telling me you've done all the runs, but you're doing runs at a different kind of caliber to what he's doing the runs on, right?
Well, then I got him in at like 10:30 at night after we had a chat. So like, come in, jump in, have a go.
Yeah.
And then it was me, Monkey, Alex SEO, but Monkey is cross-play. So Monkey was playing on the Master Race. I was just playing on the Xbox with Alex, and he said, get in the Discord. We can't do the Discord because Alex doesn't do the Discord. So then we had to do the runs on the normal game chat, which was fine, with Monkey, with a fourth random person in. And I felt famous because on both of the runs that we did with Monkey talking away, the fourth person turned their microphone on to say, hello, is that Winter's SEO?
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Did that make you feel really excited on the inside?
It made me feel like a movie star. It's like, all you have to do is protect me. I'm the psyker. I'm Bob. I'm the artillery piece. If you keep me alive, I'll clear the things for you. So Operation. I was like the Inquisitor. I'm the psyker dude, right? I'm not the Inquisitor. I'm more like an interrogator. I'm more like Harlan Nail in Eisenhorn. No, they're more like Harlan Nail in Eisenhorn, right?
Yeah.
When Ravener was still an interrogator, not an inquisitor, and it's Harlan Nail and the other ones. Damn my brain! And there you have to. And I'm the clever one.
Yeah.
With the psychic power, I can see the future. I've done, and yeah, it was good fun. It's good.
But frail of body, right? You're frail of body, but strong of mind. And it's like, you, my children, be my body, be my shield, and I will protect you. And then.
That's exactly what the Psyker is. The frailest of bodies. They've got the lowest health, the lowest toughness. The Ogryn being the tank character, the Psyker being, and it's got that scale between, do you want the tank or do you want and the Psyker's pretty nippy, pretty quick, but he doesn't hang in there very much. If he can go down quite quickly, so that's why you need to protect him. The Zealot and the Ogryn obviously being the strongest ones, and the Guardsman being a bit of an all-rounder and also a buffer. It's a very exciting game. But then something came along which has got in the way of the game, and I don't mind it getting in the way of the game. And it's called The End of the Death Volume 2. But we're not going to talk about that. That's why the law shades are on. We're not talking about that.
We can't talk about that.
We can't talk about it because it's just no.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's exciting.
So welcome to the STC. This is the podcast. If this is your first time tuning in. This is the STC, the podcast, where me, Warsmith Chris, and that guy, Winter's SEO, the famous one from YouTube. Warhammer Darktide and YouTube.
That one at the Xbox, yep. Are we filming now? Is this recording?
We're recording now, yeah. We're just going for it now.
You just press that button, don't you? Just you jump in there 2 feet first.
You know, what else can you do? You know, you sit down for a podcast, you either hit record and you just go for it, or you sit there all day crying, worrying about what's the future it holds. You just got to press record and go in. Is
it Tuesday? Normally the tears come out on the Tuesdays.
It's something like that. It's one of the days.
Tuesday.
It's not Saturday.
No.
But anyway, this is the STC podcast. We talk about lore and things like that. We were talking about Darktide at the start there. So if you've played Darktide on the Xbox or something, you might even bump into this guy.
Look out for a skinny psyker named Bob.
Look out for a little psyker, and you better defend his frail little body.
I've got 2 other characters as well.
Oh, really? What else? What else do you play?
Grammaticus, he's the Guardsman, and Lorgar is the Zealot.
Oh, nice. I see.
Lorgar, Grammaticus, Bob.
And Bob, the Psycho, yeah.
Bob.
So if you come across Bob, then, defend him with your knife.
He's my go-to. What have you been up to, however?
I've not been playing Darktide because I am a console peasant, but of the Sony variety, the PlayStation variety.
Is it not out on the?
Nah, they just sacked us right off. No.
Wow.
So I play Inquisitor on my PlayStation, which is, I really like Inquisitor Martyr. That's a really fun game.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've played it. It's good.
No one's ever heard of that. I haven't heard of that. I
It's
think
great.
you're making it up.
No, it's a great game where you play as an Inquisitor. And the other one I'm looking forward to play, I want to play Space Marine 2 when that comes out. That should be el premio Tareo.
My body is so ready for that.
Yeah, I enjoyed running around with Titus the first time round. I thought it was probably the best visual representation of Space Marines, It was pretty cool. And you just fought orcs forever. And
Yeah. The good thing about Space Marine as well is just the environment in which you inhabit. They do that really well, right? You feel like you're there.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And you've got like little guardsmen running around.
Yeah.
It's good. But this is going to take it to the next level. And with it being hordes of nids as well, it's going to be chef's
Well, that's
kiss.
what Darktide does as well. It's the environment that you're. Like when you play BioShock, you feel like you're in Rapture. When you play Dead Space, you feel like you're on the Ishimura. When you play Darktide, you feel like you're in a hive city. It's not. One of the things they've captured really well is the visuals and the sound design, the music and the commentary that the characters. It's perfect. And and Space Marine 1, they probably looked at Space Marine 1 because that was so well done and said, we need more of that. So that's what they did. And if Space Marine 2 comes it's exciting times to play video games.
It is exciting times. And it kind of links into people that are big fans of the lore, which I'm hoping are the kind of people that watch this podcast. That's probably the most important thing, right? Because you could have an amazing Warhammer game, but if you got to feel like you're in the 41st millennium, you've got to feel like you're in that Gothic architecture, and you've got to feel like, if you're a Space Marine, you've got to feel like you're just a big power machine.
I know,
and if you're a guardsman, you've got to feel like the odds are against you, I guess.
You've got to feel it. It's got to put you there. It takes me back. I feel young again. I feel 40 again.
So I played before, before Darktide was
Right.
Vermintide.
Yes.
Did you ever play Vermintide?
Fat Shark made that as well. I'm aware of it, but I didn't play it.
Vermintide, they did such a good job of capturing the Warhammer fantasy, the old world, which, funnily enough, is a thing at the moment, isn't it? They're showing up all over the place.
It's coming back.
Yeah, it's coming back. I'm looking forward to it, but we'll talk about that another time, I think. But they did a really great job of that, so I've got high hopes for Darktide. I know it was a little bumpy at the start, but everything's like that now. All the games come out a little bumpy at the start, and then
do you know what the problem is?
What's the problem?
I think the problem is the internets. Before you had the internets, when you bought the game from the shop on the disc or on the cartridge, it worked.
Yeah.
It worked. You put it in and you played, and that was it. It was done. Now the internets are around. You don't even buy the cartridge anymore, or the floppy disk, or anything like that. No, you play the game, and it's half made because the internets, because they can finish it off while people are playing it. Yeah. We've all become vast play testers for AAA studios, and they don't even pay us.
We have, and straying ever so slightly away from Warhammer just for a moment. Talking of games that came out like that, have you ever played No Man's Sky?
No, I'm aware of it, but I am also very aware of the launch and how bad it went and how good it is now.
Yeah. So 7 years on, I booted up No Man's Sky about a week ago, and that is an immersive space playground for people that like to dwell in space, which I think is a thing that links all us 40k people together. As we love a bit of sci-fi, we love a bit of the unreachable future where you can just warp to another place in the universe and things like that. It's fantastic, and they've put in all the things that you'd expect. You've got big freighters, and you've got star bases, and you get your own ship and you fly around and you can go to all the planets. Fantastic stuff. And one day there is room if AAA really went for it with Warhammer titles, and we might be heading in that direction. We're getting a TV show or something coming along, and the Warhammer universe is getting more present in media, and there's the TV shows for Warhammer TV, the little animations and stuff. One day maybe we'll get a big open world fantastique 40k game.
Fantastique. We've said it before, haven't we? The IP is worth the most. It's the most valuable thing that Games Workshop own now is the IP.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I forgot to do this thing that we do at the start.
What were you doing, though? I need to find out what you've been
Did I not
up to.
say what I was doing?
You got sidetracked.
I was just going to tell
Which
people
is
about the STC
very unusual
again.
for you. The STC. You know what you've been doing in your hobby time.
Right. So,
And then we do the STC intro. We can cut this out.
We'll just cut this bit out, yeah.
Yeah.
I got the Nurgles rot. I got the
Ra-
Nurgles. I got the plague, man. I got
You
the
got
real
rabies.
one. I got the data slate upgrade version of the Nurgle plagues and things, right? So
Yeah.
I got COVID, and it wasn't good. And in my sort of COVID mind, I was looking at my death card and I thought, you know what, I don't want to immerse myself in more like plague stuff, because I know that they embrace that kind of stuff, but I was like, I don't want to do that. And I had a headache quite a lot of the time, and I was like, you know, who else gets headaches like real bad?
People with nails in their head, they get bad headaches.
With nails in their head. So do you know what I did?
Did I get it right?
You got it right, but do you know what I did? I didn't just go out and buy a bunch of World Eaters.
No?
Because I've still got all my orcs on the go. I'm still working on my blood axes, but I just didn't really want to paint when I was so ill, so I wanted to build instead. You know when you go through the build phase?
Yeah.
So I combined a box of classic berserkers,
right?
As in the ones that served the dark gods for like 20 years or whatever.
Yeah.
A box of Monopose Chaos Space Marines I got with Imperium magazine.
Right.
And a box of Age of Sigmar Blood Warriors, right? And people, I know people have done this. This isn't a new thing, but I've made these I just made 30 of these like crazy worldy. This one's in the middle of being painted that are just kit bashed out of all kinds of bits, and they're just angry and all kinds of stuff.
You kit bashed Monopose Space Marines. I thought they're Monopose and you can't kit bash them anymore, and woe is me.
You absolutely can, boys and girls.
You can.
Just get yourself a pair of clippers that you can cut. They've got very thin bits connecting them. If you cut them apart before you stick them together,
yes,
they're quite easy to make the arms free. Then you put your own arms on and stuff like that. And even if they've got a bit of shoulder, if they've got a little bit of pauldron on there, then you can snip that away into a rounded shape and just stick a new one on top. It's really
preach,
easy.
Brother, preach. So World Eaters, why World Eaters? They look lovely. Look at him.
This is my Master of Executions. He's made up of like 4 different models.
Nice,
huge guy. But yeah, I just fancied, because I've got all the models for it. I don't have to buy anything. I've got Mauler Fiends. I've got a Land Raider ready for them. I've got 2 Chaos Rhinos. One of them's still in the box. It's been sat there forever.
Yep.
I thought I'm going to do this. And at a later date, I'll pick up some 8-bound and flesh them out. But it's been really fun just building stuff. And I sprayed them all red with Mephiston red. And I did cheat a little bit. I did actually get 1 box of Berserkers, and I've started painting those. And I've
beautiful
put a lot of effort into them, and I'm really happy. So I've got, and I remember how much I love chaos when I do this. But I can't stop the Orc project though. I still want to see the Blood Axes through to completion. So
how many projects have you got on the go right
just 2.
now?
Just 2. So I've painted.
You were doing Space Marines as well.
I was doing Space Marines before a certain thing happened, right? So I was doing White Scars, and I've painted some White Scars that I'm very, very happy with. And I converted 9 custom White Scars on the old bikes.
Okay. And
I know you can use them. I know that people are saying just use them as Outriders and all that kind of stuff. That's fine. But I gave some of them combi weapons. It doesn't feel right just yet. I might go back and snap off the combi weapon guys and give them chainswords and things like that. But I gave them all lovely stuff. And it was a bit of a blow because I also built 3 attack bikes They're also gone now.
Yeah.
And I feel like it was kind of taken away from me. However, in the background, I have picked up an Invader ATV and some Phobos Marines. They might come back as Phobos.
Okay.
We'll see how it goes. But I lost too much of it with that change, and it took the wind out of my sails. So
yeah.
But these are all things that I've had in my pile of shame. I'm not buying new models at the moment.
No.
This is all coming out of the boxes, and I overbought Chaos Space Marines for my Iron Warriors. I bought extra Rain Eyes.
Took away your toys. And I've also heard that the World Eaters range is getting cancelled next month as well.
Yeah. I heard that too.
Yeah.
Which I'm happy with, because I don't need rules to play World Eaters.
Well, what you can do is you can proxy them as Outriders and ATVs, your World Eaters.
Yeah, they're my white scars. They're just a bit more red.
Yeah, they got a bit of red on them. Shaun of the Dead, you got some red on you.
Got a bit of red on you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I've also noticed by my choices, right? So I want to get rid of the Death Guard. I think I finally realised that Death Guard just aren't my play style. You actually told me this a while ago, when we were filming Operation Nurgle's Garden.
Yes.
You were like, I don't think Death Guard are your play style, Chris. You like aggressive armies that go in and attack. Yeah. And when you play Death Guard like that, it's not really going to work. And I'm like, okay, maybe you're right.
That's the thing. This is a good teaching moment for people, because loads of people get into the hobby and start playing it. And some people find it isn't for them. Some people are... But if you're in it for a while and you play against different opponents with different stuff, you might find out that the one faction that you've built up and painted and played with for the last couple of years, after a couple of years of playing with it, you might realise that actually you have the most fun when you go up against your opponent when he plays that way. Or you're playing your army... You might play Guard, for example, but everyone's in Chimeras rushing forward, and you've got Ogrins and you've got Sentinels, and you're like, okay. Once you're in this hobby of rolling dice and collecting stuff and playing the game, there's a faction that suits the way that you like to play. Now, this doesn't apply to everyone. Some people like a mix. Some people like to go left, right. But some people definitely have a certain play style and enjoy the game more if they've got factions or if they've got lists that lean into that. But not only is there lists that lean into it, there's certain factions that lean into it. Stay back and shoot and go, or the elite type stuff, or the big chonky, I'm not going anywhere stuff, or fast and in your face stuff. And you're definitely a fast you come at people hard. You come all over them.
I come as hard as I can.
You do.
And it's do or die. You either splat into them and cause a right mess, or just dust comes out and nothing.
No, when you come all over people with your armies, it gets really sticky with all the blood and things. It's a mess. We're wiping it off the walls. It's terrible. That's your play style.
Well,
which is why White Scars is you, which is why World Eaters is you, which is why,
Black Templars.
Yeah.
Most fun I've played with Space Marines. I had Crimson Fists before that, which are now partly Sultan's got them. And I tried for a little while. I played Blood Angels, and Blood Angels like, this feels like my style. But then all those Blood Angels I changed because they were grey plastic at the time. I've changed those now. They went to different armies. Okay. And then I did the Black Templars, and it was like something inside me. I painted the Black Templars in 6 weeks.
Oh, that's good.
The whole lot. And I just couldn't stop painting them. And I've got more like Crusaders ready to go. And everyone was like, yeah, well, the way you play Black Templars now is you don't play Crusaders. You do this and that and this. And then I was like, man, when I take 30 Crusaders onto the table and run them across the pitch screaming with a few bits backing them up and a repulsor executioner, I have the most fun. I don't care if I lose that, because if I don't lose that, I'm gonna just tear you guys to bits. And that's kind of how World Eaters are going to play as well. It's like, I'm going to put everything out there and I'm going to say to you, what do you want to do? Because if you don't do something quick, I'm going to chop you up into little tiny pieces.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how I like to play, and that's why the Blood Axes will be fun as well.
So 3 factions on the go. Your Black Templars, your Blood Axes, and now World Eaters.
Yeah, the Black Templars are done, though. They're at a good point. I've got some more Crusaders, should I wish to go down that route.
When you say done, how many points?
I've got 2,300 points of Black Templars.
So enough to play a battle report, film and get on the channel.
Yeah, and change it around a bit. I've got
Right.
3,000 points of Necrons. I've got 3,000 points of Death Guard. That's all painted. And then my side projects are World Eaters and Blood Axes.
Right.
And one day I'm going to bring back, and I've made this abundantly clear, I'm going to bring back the Iron Warriors, and I'm going to bring them back the way that I intended them to be played. Originally, they're going to have 3 Vindicators. Whatever the Vindicator datasheet looks like at the time, they're coming back with 3 triple Vindies. And that's how I'm going to play them.
It doesn't. Iron Warriors don't lead. I mean, I know they were your first love, and I know narratively that, but for playing the game, they don't lean into the way you like to play the game. The most fun you get out of the games is you need to have an Iron Warriors list where the Vindicators have been blown up.
and now they're running in.
Yeah, and they're in Land Raiders instead or something, and you can push the big tanks forward in Land Raiders and fill them full of Terminators and get them spilling out that way and go, Urgh.
Yeah. I do have lots of Terminators.
Nice.
I've got about 20 Chaos Terminators waiting to do something.
Everyone loves Terminators.
Yeah. They were going to be Crimson. They were going to be They were going to be Red Corsairs at one point.
Oh.
We kind of lost. Chaos is kind of out there at the moment. The black, regular Chaos is kind of stuck at the moment as a melee demon army because you have to do the dark packs and everything. And you got to wait for those. I think it's some point next year we'll do the Chaos Space Marine Codex.
The dark packs work with shooting as well.
They do, but not everyone wants to do a dark pact.
No. No.
And of course, I've got one other army on the go as well. And that is I have Horus Heresy Night Lords.
Well, there we go. That's four. We've come to four things on the go at the same time. Yeah.
How many things you got on the go at the same time?
See, I'm pretty good because I get the stuff and I paint the stuff and then I move on to the next thing. And I've been stun locked like a stun grade in Call of Duty has gone off in my head since Darktide came out and now the End of the Death Volume 2. So it stopped the Raven Guard progression because I'm looking over there. There's like the 3 Dreadnoughts left to finish and that Apoth, and then that's it. Then they're done. And then up there, while that's on the go, I've actually started assembling a few bits here or there with the help of Alex SEO because we have the Monday night Horus Heresy night things.
Nice.
And we've already got a few bits of the Iron Hands because did you see my thing with the box on the Instagram? 3 boxes of the thing.
3 of the new Horus Heresy Battle Force things. Yeah. That's insane.
That's for the Iron Hands. Yeah. So that will come after the Raven Guard, but I won't start another project. Well, I'm on the overlap because I'm just finishing the Raven Guard, but I do that. Like the Necrons, I did nearly 10,000 points of Necrons in a year, and then I smashed out. This last year, I've done over 5,000 points of Emperor's Children and about 5,000 points of Raven Guard, and then we're on to the next one, on to the next one. A question about Necrons, just quickly while we're here. We're going to get onto the questions pretty soon, but Necrons, what are Necrons? What is the Necron playstyle, right? Because Necrons are one of the armies that's very accessible to everyone, right? Yes.
They're easy to paint, that you can get them quite cheap, and there's a lot of warriors and stuff floating around there and skull pecks and things like that.
Yep.
I had them, and we did play a game with them, and I didn't really know what to lean into. Like, I felt like you could lean into hordes of warriors and stuff, but what would you say? Are they just a mid-board control army?
I can definitely answer that question for you. Necrons used to be the horde army with really big guns. No one had guns quite like they used to because before 8th, Gauss just auto-glanced. They had the horde, and with the shield, with the scarabs and the spiders and the wraiths, and then horde, and then really, really big guns. That's how they used to be. Yeah. And now no one knows. Games Workshop doesn't know either. No one knows.
I don't know. I go in there and I'm like, I can shoot people. I can fire a big gun.
Yep.
Do I run forward? Sometimes I can melee.
You can melee, but you need to have the Lich Guard or Catans. That's about it. But they can do some melee. They can do some shooting. They can do a bit of speed as well with wraiths and bikes. They can do a bit of this, a bit of that. But no one knows. I mean, in the comment section below, people will pretend that they know what the Necron playstyle is. Someone will write a comment in there, but they don't know. They're pretending that they know. No one knows. It's one of the great mysteries in Games Workshop. They sit around the board in the design studio and say, okay, so Orcs are the Horde thing, Eldar have to be the best all the time. Space Marines, middle of the road. Necrons, they didn't even talk about the Necrons in those design meetings. They don't.
Well, the Necrons, then, guys, are... John, do you remember the memo?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Okay, on to Votan. That was it. That's what we were talking about, yeah. So, yeah, I don't know what I'm doing with them. One thing I will say, in the battle report that you'll never see from us, the Catan Shard of the Deceiver was surprisingly potent, wasn't he? He did a lot of floating around and being a real pain.
I have no recollection of that battle report whatsoever.
Oh, neither do I, actually.
No.
Is that the line we're going for? Some people have asked, when are we getting a battle report from us two? There's been about 3 or 4 people have asked.
You're on the calendar.
December.
I can see you. There you are. And there you are. Yeah. Yes.
December
which means
something.
that it might come out sometime in December. If Games Workshop, if Games Workshop don't change the rules 2 days after we film the damn thing.
Yeah.
Or 2, if I don't know how much there is behind or in front, because I film, and then sometimes it can come out a week, sometimes it might come out 4 weeks, sometimes it comes out 6 weeks, because then there's a reveal from Games Workshop and this thing happens and then this thing, so I shuffle it around to try and get current.
Yeah.
You know, there's those big YouTube studios that make sure that when the codex comes out, they have a battle report with the codex and the thing. That's nice if you've got guys.
Yeah.
I've got a cat. He's old, and and a bad habit when it comes to video games.
Might get a little Christmas treat. Might not. We'll see how it goes. But if you were wondering, that's what's happening.
That's what's happening.
So, if you are a channel member and you are of the tier
2 or higher,
you get access to the
Discord, and you can join into the SDC discussion where we do an SDC video almost every 2 weeks, except if someone has rabies.
Yeah,
and then we get a bit delayed.
So I've got all the questions on my phone, and it doesn't let me It doesn't like the sunglasses.
You can take the sunglasses off if you want to, but no. My eyes are a bloodshot mess from playing video games and staying up until 3 o'clock in the morning listening to the end and the death.
Yes. I'm listening to Khan, Eater of Worlds at the moment. I don't know if you've read or listened to that one.
I haven't done that one, no.
No? Okay, it's interesting.
Yeah.
Gave me a few ideas for things. It's very nice.
Is that why you ended up doing World Eaters?
No.
You listening to... No?
No, it was literally... when I first started Iron Warriors, I wanted to make a unit of Berserkers. I bought some extra bits to make the unit of Berserkers to go with them, and they just kind of sat there. And then I discovered them when I was feeling rough, and I thought, well, why don't I make these into World Eaters? Because they're a thing now. And that's
I'll tell you what happened. I did play a game about a week ago. I don't know if it's on the channel yet, but a really good game of World Eaters versus Death Guard. Who's the best Primarch? I think it's going out for members. Ooh. That was a really good game. World Eaters are fun. Yeah. They've always been fun. In Heresy, they got the same playstyle, which is World Eaters. They do what they do, and if you let about 50% of them touch your lines and get in amongst your lines, you're dead.
Yeah.
You've got to kill at least half of them on the way in, or delay at least half of them on the way in, or you're dead. Yeah. And they've always been that way, and you always know what you're facing, which means that there are often, when you play against or with World Eaters, there's often those clutch rolls where you need the 6 or you don't want to roll the 1. There's often those that can actually literally swing a turn here or a turn there. They're great fun to play with.
Yeah, absolutely. I've had a lot of fun playing these sort of heavy melee armies against heavy melee armies. We did Black Templars, Blood Angels, things like that, and it really does come down to nuanced placements of things. It's like, who's going to get that charge first? Who's going to do, if you can't quite wipe that unit, he's going to, Helbrecht's going to swing back, or, that kind of thing. So it's great. Would you like some questions from the lovely people who watch the STC and then channel members and then go and post on the STC questions Discord thread?
Hit me, baby, one more time.
Before we ask the questions, if you've reached this point of the STC.
Nice.
Let people know that you like ostrich eggs. Just say, I like ostrich eggs. They won't know what you're talking about. It will seem crazy. But you and I will have been signing a pact at that point to say that we understand each other, right?
What if people don't like ostrich eggs? What if people prefer hippopotamus eggs?
I think now is the time to make your choice. You either join Team Ostrich Egg or Team Hippopotamus Egg.
Okay.
But I think the important thing is that we become a little secret society who have a little code between each other to say, yeah, we watch the whole thing. And that's how we're going to know. That's how we're going to recognise each other. Because when I see hippopotamus egg, when I see ostrich egg, I'm going to be like, that is a person who is part of our crew.
Let us know which egg you love. Or just write love egg in the comments.
Or just love egg.
Yeah.
That's the third option, love egg.
Let us know you love eggs.
Right, how do you read with sunglasses on?
Take them off.
No.
You're the host with like Chris Tarrant or something.
Yeah, that's fine. We're going to start with Pickle Nick. Pickle Nick pops up a lot. Pickle Nick's always ready to come at us with questions. This is a lore question about a lore gar.
Good, because this is a lore podcast in case anyone was missing the point.
Yeah, because that's all we ever talk about.
Only thing.
Would Lorgar have been such a religious fanatic if not raised by Cor Pharaon, or was he always susceptible to it? Now, we've broached that before. These guys were built with certain traits in mind.
Yes.
Given he almost had two father figures before the Emperor arrived, Cor Pharaon and Nairo, with each trying to give him a different outlook. In the end, there's spoilers there. I'm not going to say the spoilers, actually, in case you are reading the story of it, of which of those people he chooses to side with, etc. So essentially, we've talked about this. The Primarchs were predestined to be a certain way. And one of the best examples of that was our beautiful Night Haunter, who wrestled with this thing of, I couldn't be anything else other than what I was made to be. Yeah. That kind of thing. So Lorgar was always meant to be like this.
You've got to remember, they're not born. They're not humans. No. They are humans fused with the warp. They are something different. They are something unique. They are tools. And they were built and designed to do a thing. And Lorgar's thing was belief in the Imperial... he was supposed to be the philosopher, the backbone, the thinking, the heart, the soul behind the Imperium, the iconoclast. Would he have leaned into religion otherwise? Well, then you've got the other side of the coin, which is in the first Heretic, the forces of chaos welcomed him and said the whole of the warp had been waiting for you for millions of years. So you got the other side of it. Not only was he built a certain way, but they had their eyes on him even before he was built a certain way. He would have been, he's that way inclined. It's going that way no matter what. Yeah.
So I hope that answers. I couldn't finish the bit because I didn't want to spoil it, because actually there's quite big spoilers for if you're interested in knowing more about Lorgar. There's a few key books at the start. There's which that is a big spoiler too, so I won't say that. Lex Tucan wants to know
Lex
Winters.
Tucan.
Hi Lex.
Yes, hi Lex.
Winters, that's you.
Thank you.
Have you written much fluff about your other armies aside from the 13th, and do you plan on releasing lore storytime videos about them? Chris, do you write lore for your armies? I'll let you answer first.
I did a lore one for the End of All Things. I think that's in a playlist somewhere, or might not have put it in the playlist, but I did a lore one for them, a story time for them. Does that answer the question? Was there more?
I think people just love your story times. So one day we're going to have to rub your imagination gland.
Thanks.
See if we can get some more lore out of it.
You'll have to buy me a coffee first.
I don't write lore, no, but I do always have most of the time. In fact, Necrons are the only one that I really struggled with, but everyone's kind of got something going for them. I've got a plan behind them. Because I think we all do that, right? We all have we all base it on something. I tend not to use named characters. That's changing, currently with 10th because I really like using them. I think they work really cool for Epic Hammer. But I like to always have my own lord or a captain somewhere that has some story, has some background.
Yep.
But I've never tried to write it down. I'm probably not a great writer, so I'd much prefer just spieling it out. But at the start of battle reports and stuff in the past, I've always given a little bit into what my army's dealing with, where they come from. Just
the tip of the iceberg.
Yes.
At the start of a battle report, you
tip.
Often stick the tip in. Yep.
Just the tip.
Just the tip.
Mechanical Paul is next.
Hi, Paul.
I've asked this of people before, but never really receive a satisfactory answer.
Oh.
What does Warhammer 50k look like? Will all the factions have settled their beefs by then? Interesting question.
You go online, there's a whole thing online, because there's the Dawnian heresy. What if Dawn became the vessel of the baddie? Yeah, instead of Horus. So the Dawnian heresy is a thing, and it's been vastly explored in Lexicanum and blah, blah, blah. And also 50k. There's videos, YouTube videos on it and everything. So if you Google, they will come.
Yeah.
I'm hearing a bit of distortion on the microphone. Is this me or you?
I can't hear it, and it's going to be fine.
It's going to be fine?
Yeah, it's going to be fine.
If you can't hear it, it must be me.
Yeah.
It must be up my end, not your end.
Yeah, it might be the cable rubbing or something. You'll be fine. If we get to this point in the video and it's been all the way through and people can't stand it, and we get to this bit and I say it's fine,
yeah,
I apologise, but
we're
I don't
definitely keeping it in.
50k.
It's just a bit in the back. It's a rustle, like rustling leaves, like a terrier scamping through the autumn garden.
I can't hear that, and I've got all the tools for monitoring. So
okay, so
hopefully we're not being let down by the software. But I just want to say my little bit on 50k is that the whole point is it could be anything, right? It could be anything. There's no one path that is definite for the next 10,000 years.
There's Reddit threads. People have argued about it. Yeah. There's a lot out there.
I mean, there's so many. The way that Games Workshop writes its lore these days, there's so many things get done and then undone, and then Cadia's going to reform out of special juice at some point. You've got no way of knowing. But that's just another unsatisfactory answer for you there, Mechanical Paul. So I hope you enjoy that. Kev the Cook next.
Hi, Kev.
It's more 13th. So I'm sorry about this. We keep putting you on the spot
okay.
with this.
It's fine.
What are the 13th doing at the moment in your headcanon? And why had they been MIA for so long? And there's a little emoji with a sad one with a tear coming out.
Well, there's been a few 13th videos recently, battle reports recently. Where are they? They took a bit of a pasting towards the end of 9th. There was the whole Gehenna thing. They got involved with that right at the very end. And then Snow, the battle reports which feature Snow and what happened to Snow that happens at the end of Gehenna as well, because there's a story time for that when they were waiting, trapping, and da-da-da. So the 13th are they are in the Gehenna system. Well, no, they're in the sector where Gehenna is, which is close to Cadia, which is where the Shattered Dynasty are as well. They're hanging out, they're chilling for a bit, they're staying a bit quiet. There's also a little bit of disquiet in and amongst the 13th Fleet, because there's a certain captain called Talus going around trying to bring the 13th down some ways that they don't want to go. And in my head canon, there is disquiet in the fleet. They've suffered, and we'll see what happens to them over the next few years.
Okay, so I'm going to go freestyling and now put you on the spot.
Nice.
Are we going? Do we think the 13th needs a bit of time of incubation until you get that kind of creative energy to push them forward, rather than just rush them forward? Because I know a lot of people are asking for it, and writing stuff doesn't happen like that, does it? It doesn't just. You don't just go, oh, I know, and then write. You have to have the inspiration, and there's many projects going on. So we're just waiting for that right time, that spark.
Well, you could go away and force yourself to write something about something. Like you could, all right, okay, I'm going to sit down now, and I've started World Eaters, and I'm going to write some story and develop some narrative around the World Eater. So you've got to go away. You've got to think about who X is, who Y is, what is happening at the time, what worlds are they on, what is the history, and you've got to get all that in your head if you want to make a half decent story. And then you've got to write the story. And you've got to want to do that. There's got to be something in your brain going, I've got to get this out of me. Got to get this out of me. Got to get this out of me. And what happened was, ninth, the last year of ninth, and then 10th has come around, then heresy has come around, and there's a lot of other things. There's a lot of other plates spinning right now.
New stories.
And new stories and things. Yeah. So I haven't got that urge in me to push them forward at this time, so I'm just letting the battle reports tell the story of where they are and what's going on, which is, I mean, Snow, what happened to Snow came straight out of 2 battle reports that I did with Imperiax and Git Splitter. So yeah, a whole story time came out of that because that was just that good.
Yeah. Awesome. Me Matty. Have you tried white chocolate digestives?
No, that sounds like heresy.
Okay. Not a fan of... I mean, white chocolate isn't really chocolate, is it?
It's not.
It's just white paste.
No. I think white chocolate's racist as well.
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah.
And it's just... Yeah. Let's just never talk about white chocolate again.
No, we're not allowed... No.
John Luke. Troublemaker. Extraordinaire. When can we see the 13th Guard?
See, again, the question.
The people want what they want. I can't.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know.
He doesn't know, guys. He doesn't bloody know, right? Know. Leave him alone.
He
doesn't know.
I'm enjoying. See, that's the thing. I've got so many factions. And stuff that I really like playing with, and stuff that I like exploring. See, here's a good answer to the question. People come in and out of the hobby all the time. And people come in at 8th and they hate it and they're out by now. And we know some people who used to be dead on regulars, come to the channel all the time, that we used to hang out with all the time, and they're barely in the hobby anymore. That's common. People come, people go. Or people start when they're younger, they discover sex, drugs, rock and roll, and they stop playing it, and then they come back in when it's older. And it's unusual for someone to stay in the hobby for edition after edition after edition after edition after. That's the rare person, and I'm one of those rare people. And the way I keep my muse going, and the way I keep it going is I only play, I only film, I only do what I want to do. And then I'm always filming, always building, always painting, always listening to the parts of the hobby that I want to do. And so I'm doing, and I'm sharing this. I'm so lucky, so privileged to be sharing my hobby life with all of you guys out there. And I know there's so much. You've come along on the journey as well. You've seen the 13th. You've seen the 13th Militarum. At the end of all these other stories, all these other bits, you've entered the brain. You've entered the brain verse of the brain, the very small brain called Winter's SEO. There's a lot of room up there. There's plenty of space to enter it.
There is.
And sometimes those threads, those many threads, explore down vast avenues, and sometimes they just blip up a bit here or there and then disappear again, because I have to follow the muse. And by following the muse, I'm always engaged, always having fun, and I'm not one of those that is faded. I'm as invested and enjoying the hobby as much now as I ever have been. By only doing what I want to do. Like you, with the World Eaters, you're doing it because you want to do it.
Yeah. You wake up. Sometimes I lay in bed and I'm thinking about like a kit bash or something.
Nice.
It just comes to my mind. I'm like, hang on. I remember I've got that weird arm. If I stuck that on there, that would look really good. And I lay there and I think about it. And it gets to the point where I'm like, I just got to get up now and do it. I've got to find that part. And I'll be rummaging through boxes at like 1 a.m. going, I know I've got this bit somewhere. It happened with my Nurgle Demon Prince. I was looking for this bug head, and I just had to find it. And I looked through every bits box in my hobby room, and I did find it. And I stuck it on there, and I was like, I can go back to bed now.
I like it. I
loved it. You know, you got to, it's better this way, guys.
People ask about like, what do you do with your pile of shame? What do you do? When you have that model fatigue and you can't paint the thing? And you've come up with some really good ideas and good advice for people. to keep the hobby mojo going. My advice on it is don't do it if you've got painter's fatigue and you don't want to paint 100 things. This is terrible advice, but it is my advice. I would say don't do it. Do what you want to do. There'll be something in the hobby that you are engaged with that you want to do. Follow that instead. And if you end up with half-finished projects all over the place, then you end up with half-finished projects all over the place. Do you know what? In 3 years' time, you'll see that half-finished project because another codex or another edition or another thing has come around and you're like, oh, I could play that if I only just finished that off. And then you finish it off and then you play it and then you do it.
And that's been my life for many years now. But each project gets like another 500 points done every time I do this.
Nice.
And one day they'll just all be done, and it's like, there we go. There's no need to rush it because I'm not playing at the scale of needing 4 armies on the go at once. I've got a choice of 3 armies whenever I want to play, as it is. And everything else can just slow burn in the background when I'm happy to do it, you know. There you go.
I want to do the 13th Militarum, but there's other wants that I want to do more.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
That's all it is, guys. We got one from Stylus.
Is it about the 13th?
It's not actually.
Okay, good. Well done, Stylus.
It's not really lore either. It's just Stylus business, isn't it? So Stylus is saying, an alien fleet comes to Earth and threatens to destroy the planet unless Chris delivers his best funny voice. With those kind of stakes, what is his best funny voice?
I'd love to hear it.
What? I don't know what it could be.
Your best funny voice.
My best funny voice? What? When I try and do Welsh.
You're overthinking it. Do a funny voice, then do another funny voice, then do another funny. Keep doing a couple of different funny voices, and I'll vote, and I'll let you know which one the best one is, because you probably don't know what the best one is.
Okay.
Just do a funny voice, any funny voice.
Oh no! Don't kill us, alien race, because I'm from Scotland, and we will rise against you. It's not a funny voice, is it?
Do another funny voice.
All right. Hey! What are you doing landing on our planet? I'm going to send you back to space.
We're walking here. Walking here.
I'm going to go buy a slice.
I spilt my coffee.
And now I'm going to eat a slice from the slice store. You know?
This is beautiful. I'll put another 10p in. Do another funny voice.
Oh, no.
No, go on.
What does Brap sound like? Hello, mate.
That's definitely the funniest.
I'm gonna have the pie. Pie and gravy jokes, isn't it? So,
yeah.
I can't do the one that Stylus and Monkey talk like. Can't do it. Never been able to do that one. The hello, mate. It's me, Monkey. No, I can't do it.
That sounded just like Monkey.
That's exactly what it sounds like. I think we're doomed. I think the aliens are going to absolutely just trash us for that because I didn't do a funny enough voice.
Yeah.
I've got to have you've got to give me lines to read, Stylus. That's how I work. I'm a method actor, but I have to be told what method to embody. I can't just. Yeah.
You need a fluffer.
I need a fluffer.
Someone to warm you up.
Peter Daly wants a reaction to the
Peter Daly.
Peter Daly.
Why do you say O at the end of it? Actually, Peter Daly. O.
Peter Daly. Hang on.
Has he got an O in it?
No.
Or are you making it up?
It's not. It's just my poor vision. It's Peter Daly, and there's an icon, then there's like a maple leaf to maybe suggest that Peter Daly's from Canada.
Is that the maple leaf?
They like maple leaves.
Was it? I thought maple leaves are Bolivia.
Peter Daly from Bolivia. Hugh.
Yeah.
Peter Daly. Oh. Anyway, Peter Daly wants a reaction to the Inspector Sniper gadget. As in the one that was revealed a little while back, the AdMech on sticks.
I talked about it in the live video. I mean, he's got lone operatives, so technically you can't shoot him, apparently. But in any war situation, what is your reason for not shooting that guy?
You'd shoot him just because he's so ridiculous.
I love the ridiculous 40k models. I like the Throne of Skulls, the Khorne thing with the tracks and the stuff. I like the more stupid, the better it comes, because that screams 40k for me. Yeah. But even part of my brain screeched to a halt when I saw that thing. I mean, one of the reasons why I like the AdMech so much is because their range is so ridiculous. But that one made me go, what? So that's my reaction.
I'm going to give you a slightly different reaction.
Okay.
I can't tell you why, but I absolutely adore that model. It is
nice,
ridiculous. It's on sticks. It proves to me that Games Workshop can still throw some real curveballs out there and do some weird stuff. It's not on the money, right? I'm telling you now, it's a goofy goober, and I'm not looking at it going, oh man, that's really cool. He's a cool sniper on stick. I'm like, damn, I want that guy, because this is just absolutely ridiculous. It's absolutely absurd. And the body horror thing, like, what could be more horrifying than having cocktail stick legs? I don't know. Awful.
The thing is, you've got to get the little Timmies in the door. They see the dreadnought. And they go, wow, look at that. They see this bit. They go, wow, look at that. Oh, look at that big demon. Oh, look at that big monster. Yeah. And then they see Inspector Gadget.
It's go Gadget legs. Yeah.
Yeah.
We got Stranger Come Knocking.
Hi, Stranger Come Knocking hobbies. How are you doing?
Stranger Come Knocking is another one. He's always there. Pickle Nick and John Luke and all those ones. Come join them. We're actually bored of doing their question. I don't even like those guys. We need new guys to sign up and give us the question. I'm joking. I love you guys. I'm joking.
I don't. I've met them. They smell.
Yeah. I haven't met... I've met some of them. I have actually met them all. No, I haven't met John Luke.
Well, they're so forgettable. I find that, it's...
Stranger Come Knocking. He's a very handsome man, actually. I'd like to point out. If you're into, like...
men.
Hippies that you find you just find in, like, a bush somewhere. That's what he reminds me of. Is there a current place in... Oh, come on, Chris. Learn how to read. Is there a place in current 40k for celestial lizard men? That's a crazy question. Of course there is.
Yeah.
What would they do? I mean, would they be old ones, or would they be a new just lizard boys coming out?
I think the galaxy's a big place. What, celestial lizard men?
Yeah, I think the Warhammer version of them has got that kind of Star God vibe, isn't it? Kind of thing going on. I don't know whether that's going to work in 40k. I think they should just literally be lizards from the ground.
Yes.
Taking up arms, like dragging. That'd be good, wouldn't it?
No? I'm up for any kind of new Xenos faction. Just give us a new Xenos faction, and they gave us a new Xenos faction, and it was squats.
It wasn't Xenos. And
it wasn't that Xenos, and it wasn't that new, and they missed that one. But here we are.
Which leads into Dragos's question of what part of the lore would you never want them to explore any further? Like, what bit is just like, can we just stop there, please?
Well, there's a bit that I really want them to explore, but I never want them to explore, and that's the 2nd and the 11th Legions. I think we've got enough noise around the 2nd and 11th Legions to have some pretty good hypotheses about what happened to at least one of them. Yep. Well, we know what happened to at least one of them, and it howls. The second one we're a bit shady on, but there's some pretty good noise around that. You can get some juice. So I don't want any more on that. Yeah. That's a bit of lore I don't think they should touch on. What's yours? What swings to your brain?
I agree with that, and I just want to say that if you go back to like our 2nd or 3rd or 4th episode, the ones about the Primarchs, we made some hypotheses about those. That actually worked really well, because we noticed a pattern in the Primarchs. We noticed a pattern in the belief side, and then there should be someone who has a different kind of belief. Then there was a strong psyker, so we think there should have been more of a psychic. Anyway, go back and listen to that.
We actually did some good videos back at the start before we had any questions. And we went through the whole history of 40k up to about the heresy. It was really good, really great content. Lore content.
Go back and that. But what we need is another big set of lore progression, and then we do. It'll be fine.
I mean, we were great once. What happened to us?
I was great until I put on the hat.
I think No, I think what I'd like to say is the lore at the start was fantastic. The progression that we went through, fantastic. What happened to us was we got the chat involved. I think that's what.
Yeah.
It went downhill since
Never
then.
get the chat involved.
People ask us about lizardmen and shit. I don't. Yeah.
And other things.
Other things.
Ben Crab. Are the
Nice.
demons Chaos Gods in 40k and fantasy supposed to be the same entities, or are they completely distinct?
They
Okay.
used to be, but I don't know enough about Sigmar to say if they're the same now.
Yeah.
But they used to be in the old world, yes.
Yeah. Which means they are, technically, because the Age of Sigmar is the old world. The reality is like shattered, and it's like it's reborn, and all the souls from the old world are in AOS, so you can assume the gods are still the same gods from
Is it?
Warhammer Fantasy. And if they said that Warhammer Fantasy, Khorne and Nurgle and whatever, but remember, time doesn't really matter in the warp, so it could easily have happened on a planet somewhere. The old world could be out there somewhere, and it's long gone. But it doesn't matter to the Chaos Gods. They're in the new 40k setting as well, because time is nothing.
Time is nothing.
Yeah. And they got the same bloody names and do the same things. Of course they're the same.
Yeah. I mean, back in the day, the demon range was exactly the same for Old World as it was for 40k.
Yeah.
You could buy an army and play them across the two systems.
It was a big selling point, actually. I remember when they did
was.
a big relaunch of Chaos Demons. I can't remember what it was, like 2000 and something. And they released those boxes. It was like, yeah, you can play in both systems. Whoa.
Yeah. Was that fourth ed, fifth ed? I forget.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Right, I've got one question left.
Okay.
This is from Rick Shazam, cameraman.
He is a cameraman, and his name is Rick, not Shazam.
Oh. Okay.
I met him. He smells too.
Okay. Well, being a cameraman, Rick has a...
He's a cameraman on Coronation Street, of all things. The Americans won't know what that is, but that makes him a superstar in my eyes. That makes him like TV royalty, as far as I'm concerned.
My friend's wife writes for Coronation Street. You might know them.
Oh my god!
They know each other. Oh my god, they must be brothers and sisters.
Oh, fantastic!
Anyway, Rick Shazam, the cameraman for Corrie. Warhammer TV show, Gaunt's Ghosts, like Band of Brothers, or Eisenhorn. Which would you prefer? Which would be the best introduction to the setting for a wider audience?
Gaunt's
Because,
Ghosts.
yeah, okay. Well, that's not going to happen. It's Eisenhorn, isn't it? They want to do
Gaunt's
Eisenhorn.
Ghosts will be cheaper and easier to make. So Eisenhorn, there'd have to be quite a bit of CGI and hive cities and blah blah blah. So what you can do with Gaunt's Ghosts is you can set. We talked about this before, but here's a quick synopsis for you: 6-part miniseries, mainly set in some trenches. So you can do trench warfare. You can do all that right now with before, and you're going to split into 3 parts. And the first story that goes through the 6-part miniseries is the trenches and what's happening in the trenches with all the characters down there. One of the mini parts is the leaders of the good guys, and they're on another planet and another system, and you can film that like Downton Abbey. Yeah. So you can do this. So we're talking about minimal CGI here, and you've got 2 overlapping story arcs and how this affects that, and they don't care about that. And then the third one, which will be the behind the lines SAS group, a bit of Gaunt's Ghost doing some. You can film a lot of that with minimal CGI, with a lot of real world graphics. You can have 3 interconnected storylines, and then at the end, in the big finale, when everyone dies, because it's 40k except for our plucky band of heroes, well, it's Gaunt's Ghost, half of them will die anyway. Yeah. Half of the plucky band of heroes get away, and you can zoom out and have a 10 minutes on a bigger, and then zoom out, and then you can have all the CG, and you show how big and how vast the scale is, and how inconsequential this little action was on this little bit of the thing. And the whole 6 parts could last for 4 or 5 days. It could be a week in 40k terms, but it's a speck on the backside of a flea, on an ant, on an elephant, on a far-flung planet. That's what you can do. And also, the reason why that is much more appealable is war, is the desperate. It's
humans as well. It's humans
overcoming the thing. You don't have to bring much chaos into it. You don't, but it's a great intro. There's a bit in Han Solo the movie, which was really terrible, horrible movie.
I thought it was right, but yeah.
Okay, it was all right. It was okay. There's a bit in there right at the start where he is actually fighting in a war. And that 30 seconds of war was like, this is so 40k. that bit, and you could do that. It's relatable, it's achievable. The budget wouldn't have to be massive, and you can have some real desperate moments. You can have some real clutch moments. You can have the whole Band of Brothers thing going on. It could be epic.
Do you remember in Firefly when they did the little flashback to the brown coat? It was in the war, and that was awesome, wasn't it?
Yeah.
War flashbacks are always interesting. But anyway.
Yeah.
So there you go. So basically, we've fixed media again. You know, we like to tell media companies and Games Workshop what they should be doing. And, you know, we nail it every time. So, again, we're ready to be hired to do that. So, we've got Gaunt's Ghosts, the TV show over there. Copyright Winter's SEO 2023. We've got the stuff that I say sometimes. Probably worse.
Do you remember the Skull Hurler? You came up with the Skull Hurler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, yeah, there we go. Anyway, I'm sick to death of this shit, so should we just go?
I think we should go.
Should we just go?
I want to go.
Yeah.
Do you want to go?
Let's go and see you later. Yeah.
Bye.
I'm done, bye.
And bye. Just let's go. I've had enough.
Yeah, I've had enough as well.
Yeah, bye.
I'm going.